Yes, we are.
So much to learn about all this. It's Australia Day. Happy Australia Day. Dale Kay is here to help us learn a lot about this holiday that we don't know a whole lot about.
You know, apart from just discovering all the colorful language, it is really nice to be here celebrating because I get to double down, right? Because it was Australia Day yesterday, because they're a day ahead, and then I get to do it all over again today. So not the worst being here.
Keep the party going. 2 days. All right. So tell us about Australia Day and how it is celebrated overseas. How is it celebrated in Australia?
So it's a holiday that commemorates or marks the, not only the great people, but also the country itself, all the great flora and fauna that it has. And it's kind of wrapped around the first fleet coming into Botany Bay. That was back in, I think, 1788 or thereabouts. A little bit of controversy because with the indigenous population of Australia, it's they're trying to pick a different day because, of course, the indigenous view that landing completely different than how traditional, Australians or, in the 50s and 60s, 70s thought about Australia Day. So they might actually change the date, but for this year, it's January 26th and always falls on that day, but dates back to 1788.
Is it kind of like our Independence Day in that there's parades and fireworks and barbecues?
Yeah,
what do you do?
So Australia Day traditionally it's a little bit like the 4th of July. It's kind of celebrating, that kind of independence or, that kind of notion or thereabouts. A lot of fireworks, but really I'm from like Adelaide. It's really close to the beach. So you're kind of like flat out like a lizard and you're barbecuing and you're having a beer, actually where I'm from, really one of the best wine growing regions in Australia is the Barossa Valley, and about an hour away. So, maybe, a little bit of lamb on the barbie, maybe some sausages, and then you wash it down with a lot of red wine.
A lot.
There
we go.
I used to drink beer a lot when I was a kid, like it was almost like coming out my ears.
When you were a kid?
Well, you can drink when you're 18.
Oh, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We got it.
Okay.
But I used to drink a lot of beer, and I really can't. Just wine.
They do make great wine.
Great.
Okay, so it's not a celebration without some treats and some.
You brought a good spread.
Some beverages, some adult and even kid beverages. Well, I don't know about that one.
So people always, ask me, what do you miss about, Australia? And of course, the first thing is family. All my family's there. But then, some of the food is really unique, just as unique as us or our animals. And I should have a quick shout out. There's an Australian bakery in Marietta, Georgia. Wendy there helped get me some of this stuff up as well. And then in Woodbury, and I love Woodbury. There's so many things to love about Woodbury, but it has this great little bakery just right off of Woodbury Drive. It's called Bub's, and they have, Australians love two different types of coffee, flat white, and then right in front of you, Shane, is like Australian iced coffee, and it's a little bit sweeter than your regular iced coffee, but nestled in Woodbury is Bub's, makes the best flat white. I would drive on the other side of town for his flat white iced coffee. And then right there is Pavlova, that white thing there. It had a little bit of a bumpy ride. If anybody's driven with me before, it's a little bit
What is it?
It's like a meringue, I guess. You can grab a fork, dig in.
I can
over
see.
here
Here's a fork.
Okay.
is cherry ripe. We have a great Australian chocolate or candy bar called cherry ripe. That's a play on that. That's really good. But the money for me on this table is the Lamingtons. That's like angel cake on, like it's unbelievable angel cake. I could eat that whole plate. We love anything chicken chips, chicken twisties, chicken salt. That goes on everything. The barbecue shapes right there, that is money too. Love that. I was told not to open the shapes because my family will get kind of cranky that I dug into that. And then the meat pie. The meat pie with Australian sauce. It's different than
That's called ketchup.
It's different than ketchup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you want to try that, that is good.
Australian
And then,
sauce.
the one that everybody loves. I think you have to grow up on it, is what I've been told, but the Vegemite sandwich.
Okay, if
What
we
is
get into
Vegemite?
that, yeah.
So Vegemite
Sounds
is
like a fertilizer. The name, it's not great.
Tastes like it too.
I just hate to break it to you.
There's so many people in this room that actually love Vegemite. Actually, there's only two. It's me and Jeff Orcutt over there. But it's kind of like sludge that is the byproduct of the.
Did you describe it as sludge?
Yeah, it's like the sludge of the beer brewing process.
It's very yeasty.
It's very yeasty, so it's kind of like a byproduct of beer. But the taste is
Really selling
it's
it.
really exceptional. And kids, I mean, it goes It goes on everything.
I've been warned against it, but I've also
but
been
I
voluntold
think that,
that I'm the
I've already had it, so you
It
guys
fights
go.
with anything sweet.
have
so you
at
gotta
it.
use like
It looks like chocolate.
Is there butter
It's
on
like
it
a
also?
jello.
It looks like
tastes
a
just like
Hershey
chocolate.
syrup.
Butter on it and then
butter.
try some?
Sometimes
Well, I was gonna
kids will
let her
have
get
cheese and
going.
Vegemite sandwiches.
Dig
Take
in.
that to school.
It is
Maybe a little bit
like
of lettuce on
sludge.
there too.
Okay.
It just
You can
is
squirt it.
Hershey's chocolate.
That's-
oh, you
okay.
got a big bite too. You really,
Yeah.
you didn't dabble.
I'm not dainty.
I like that, Leah.
And
It's salty.
It is really on toast. Oh,
she didn't
But it's
have
not-
quite the expression that Hannah did earlier.
Yeah.
So
It's salt. Oh yeah, there's the after flavor.
I was like, wait for it.
so I put a
Yeah.
lot of butter. I put a lot of butter on it, so it wouldn't.
Do you want?
Aftertaste.
I don't know if that's a good chaser, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my water.
Shane, don't you want to try it?
It is good.
well, I would like to
Did you have
finish
to-
this segment. You're going to be the only one left standing here pretty soon.
Did you have the twisty?
I did. It's right here.
Oh, you didn't, did you like it?
Well, so when you see this, everyone, you go, oh, that's a white cheddar, like Cheeto.
Yeah, puff or something.
But it's not cheesy, so then it's more like chicken and a biscuit in a puff.
yes.
So I'm a little confused.
Confused?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not
there are
bad.
cheese twisties too, but you know the chicken chips, the chicken twisties, you just can't get that.
You want one?
Here.
Sure.
I don't think you're going to have the same reaction like Vegemite. Does your wife like Vegemite? Like,
Yeah, it's,
has your family adopted a
it's
lot of these
strange, but
foods as
this-
well?
Despite trying.
Okay.
None of my family at all, in any shape or form, will eat
Likes any
Vegemite.
of
It's just, you know, the good thing is I get it all to myself. It's not the worst.
Okay.
And how long does that little squeeze bottle last you?
Well, I use it quite liberally.
You do? Like
Yeah,
that much?
So, but you know,
Do I have
the
Vegemite in my
best-
tea?
Okay, when I was a kid, you have to get it
glad
out
you're
of
back,
the.
though.
You'd have to get it out of the jar, and now they've just made it so easy. You just squeeze it. You can do
Well,
shots of
obviously,
it.
it's brought back
do
very,
shots
you know,
of it.
pleasant memories of your childhood.
Oh my God.
there we go.
It comes out a little funny.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I'm having.
I'm so glad I've already been through this, and I won't be doing it a second time. You got it all yourself, Dale.
The pavlova, meat pies, lamb, wine.
Okay.
That's Australia Day.
All right, there you go.
I
Happy
love it.
Australia Day.
And from Adelaide, which is that a
Adelaide.
smaller place?
Yeah, so it's like, oh, you'd love it. If you're going to go to Australia, go to Adelaide. It's like the best. It's like a little, like a St. Paul, super close to the ocean. I'm from Glenelg, which is right on the beach. My parents live like 2 blocks from the beach. Stunning. It's just,
And the red wine is
sometimes I
great.
got to wonder what I'm doing here. You know, I often wonder.
Well, we have the beaches of the Mississippi.
I know, I was
it's like
thinking,
kind
I
of the
don't
same.
see the beach in St. Paul, but other than the lakes, which are wonderful. But we've learned a little bit about Australia
A
Day
lot.
today,
A
about
lot,
the food,
yes.
and Dale, and the things that he says on the show. Now, Bob's your uncle means what?
Bob's your uncle is just like everything's going to be all right. Everything's good.
And Fanny's your auntie?
There's so many things. There's so many Australian sayings.
We don't even
Spend all
have
day on
time
that,
for all
yeah,
of them.
right?
We'll save that one for next year.
Thank you, Dale.